Góðan daginn and welcome to the Iceland Food Centre. Recently we had a holiday called Bolludagur where the children go around spanking their parents for Profiteroles. And now that I say that out loud, that does sound a bit weird. Let's not talk about that, that's for the blog. Instead, let's bake. You will need water, all-purpose flour, butter, and some eggs. 4 to be exact. To start off with, we will melt some butter in water. And while we're at it, we may as well preheat our oven to 200 degrees. And prepare our parchment paper for later. Next thing to do is to start sieving out all the flour. Cue sexy shot? Very nice. I keep another bit of parchment paper handy because the next thing to do is to shoot the flour inside the butter mixture. Here is where a lot of the magic happens. You just keep stirring and mixing, and within about 30 to 45 seconds, this is going to form a cohesive ball of yellow dough. Yeah, keep stirring, keep mixing. Patient, almost there. And here we are. Can you see how that's changed into this beautiful yellow dough? That's it, very nice. At this point it's time to think about adding the eggs. I say think because you mustn't do it while the dough is too hot. So, check with your hands, check the pan. If you can rest your hand on it and it isn't smoking, it's time to add the eggs. So let's start with the first one. Oh god, no, Now that happens more than I'd like to admit. Pro tip, if you do drop a piece of shell, use the eggshell to pick it up. Works all the time. At this point, let's also add the second egg, because we know we'll need it. If you have a hand or stand mixer at this point, that is super helpful. But if you're like me, just do it the old school style and stir with some grit. Now that it's completely combined, it's time to add the third egg. Now that the mixture is a little bit less dense, I'm going to start using a whisk. It makes a little bit more sense. So whisk it together until the egg is completely integrated. And at this point I realize I forgot to salt it, so add 2 pinches of salt. At this point it's important to gauge the thickness of your batter. Eggs come in all different sizes, so between 3 and the 4th egg, the consistency might be just right. But I thought, I need another egg. So I just went ahead and added it and started mixing and stirring and mixing yet again. And as you can tell, the batter is changing considerably. So after all that wrist exercise, the consistency you're looking for is just like this. Next thing to do is to move our mixture into a piping bag. Now, you can do this with 2 teaspoons or tablespoons, but I found I never got the rise I wanted from them. But maybe that's just my spooning skills. If you are using disposable piping bags like myself, I totally recommend cutting the opening off before adding the batter. It saved me a great deal of mess. And once you've safely deposited your mixture in the piping bag, it's time to move them onto our parchment paper that we prepared before. I found the best way was to pipe them out in sort of a, this kind of a shape, emoji style shape. And once you finish, stick them right in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. It is crucial you don't open the oven for the first 20 minutes. You will let out the steam and they will collapse. And now for the best icing ever. You'll need 75 grams of butter, melted, 240 grams of icing sugar, and 4 tablespoons of cocoa. Combine well and add into that saucepan full of butter. Mix it together and then add the secret ingredient for consistency. Coffee. Now, coffee isn't necessary, however, it does counteract the intense sweetness of the icing sugar and it complements the chocolate. I'm willing to bet that this becomes your go-to icing. It is amazing. At this point, your bribe buns should be about golden brown. And if you haven't opened the oven earlier, it should look a little bit something like this. A nice little bun with a wonderful compartment to fill with goodies. Now for the next step, everyone has their own way. I prefer just to dip them into the icing and get the chocolate cap on top like that, while other people prefer to drizzle the chocolate on top after they've done the fillings. But you gotta admit, that does look pretty delicious. Doing it that way means I can prepare a lot of buns in one go. And what happens next is up to you. Lots of people like to fill them with jam and whipped cream. However, my family likes to fill them with instant pudding, such as Angel Delight or Jello. And there you have it, Icelandic Profiteroles.